Okay, you're joining us live here on India Today. I'm Akshita Nandagopal. I hope you enjoyed our Election Express from Andhra Pradesh. I'm still here in this beautiful state. Behind me, you can see a celebration of what the Indian election looks like. I'm standing at a TDP rally, part of my coverage for the next episode of Election Express, which is going to be getting you all the political action from Vijayawada. I'm currently in Mailavaram, so we'll be getting all those updates tomorrow. But let's put the focus right now on phase 3 of the general election, because that's what everyone's going to be talking about tomorrow. The countdown well and truly on, and it's in neighbouring Karnataka that all of the focus is. Of the 28 seats, remember 14 of those seats voted in the last phase. The rest of the 14 largely North Karnataka, that you in fact see a lot of the polling that will be taking place. A lot of crucial seats here. Haveri, Dharwad, Hubballi, Shimoga, just to name a few. And there are many, many leaders, central leadership of the BJP, big faces of the Congress, whose fates will be decided now in the next 24 hours. Voting will be kicking off at 7 a.m. in these parts of Karnataka and several other crucial seats in the country, which we'll get to in just a bit. I just want to focus right now on some of the big battles to watch out for in North Karnataka in this particular phase. The seats that you should know about when in fact we go into this voting. Let's talk first about Shivamoga, because that's a battle everyone's been talking about. You have Yediyurappa's son, B.Y. Raghavendra, who's been fielded there. K.S. Ishwarappa, the BJP rebel, miffed that he wasn't given a ticket by the BJP, is fighting as an independent. In almost every single rally, though, has been referring to Prime Minister Modi's achievements to kind of try and wean away some of the BJP vote. And then you have Geeta Shivraj Kumar there as well. So a bit of star power, a bit of political masala, a bit of internal feud as well playing out in Shivamoga. Besides that, let's also talk about the other seats as far as Basuraj Bommai goes. He's contesting from Haveri. The BJP's won in this particular seat successively in the last 4 elections. It's a stronghold of sorts. And up against him is actually a debutant, but who's also the son of a former MLA, Anandaswamy. So we'll see how that particular battle plays out. As far as Dharwad goes, you have, in fact, there Pralhad Joshi. Again, he's represented the seat since 2009. So for him, this is a huge prestige battle. Also one seat that he's held on to so closely. There was a lot of talk about Digaleshwar Swami also being in the poll fray. That hasn't happened. He backed out. So Vinod Asudi of the Congress has been fielded from that particular seat. Let's take this across to our reporters on the ground. We've got Nagarjun Dwarkar joining us live from Shivamoga and Pramod Madhav getting us those latest updates from Hubballi as well. Namaskara to both of you. Namaskaram from me since I'm in Andhra Pradesh. Naga, to you first in Shivamoga, one of the most keenly watched battles across Karnataka.
Namaskara to you and good evening, Akshita. In fact, I am coming to you from Shivamoga, a seat keenly watched across Karnataka as well as India, because former Chief Minister's son Raghavendra is contesting. And what makes it even more newsy and spicy is because of a rebel candidate. Ishwarappa is here contesting as an independent candidate. He's been expelled from the party for the next 6 years. And on the other side, from the Congress, they have fielded former Chief Minister's daughter, Geeta Shivraj Kumar, daughter of Bangarappa. So it's former CM's children who are fighting it out here in Shivamoga, and it's become Lingayat versus others, where the Lingayat are the backbone of the BJP here in Shivamoga. The Congress wants it to be Lingayat versus others. We'll have to wait and watch as to how the voters think tomorrow, but stage all set for phase 3 here in Karnataka.
3 high-profile faces in Shivamoga. And so it's a complete, in the literal definition of really a 3-way battle, what's playing out right now in Shivamoga. Naga will be live from 7 a.m. tomorrow morning, getting us all the live political action as people come out in large numbers to the beautiful city of Shivamoga to decide who they want their representative to be. Let me take this across now to Pramod Madhav, who's joining us live from Hubballi. In Hubballi, Pramod, there's been a lot of talk about the murder of Neha Hiremath, with many allegations of love jihad also being thrown into the mix. Then you had what happened with Prajwal Revana. Which issue really, in your reports on ground, in your analysis on ground, has really resonated more with voters?
Namaskar, Akshita, and I can't be any more further in north of Karnataka, and I'm like in a really beautiful place called Hubli, and this is a place where Prahlad Joshi is going to actually vote tomorrow morning. This is a place almost like 500 meters from his residence, and the interesting factor is that just like you mentioned, there are a lot of things that are going to play a very important role in this election, but the most important part, it seems to be that the Lingayat factor, because close to 5.5 lakh voters in this constituency are Lingayats, and they seem to be having the upper hand, so that's the thing. Even though we had the murder of Neha, a very unfortunate incident that occurred, that has also played a very important role. Prajwal Revanna's issue is still raking up at the state of Karnataka, but here in Dharwad, it looks like the plight is more about garnering the votes of Lingayats, and this is where Prahlad Joshi has been concentrating all this while, and he claims that he is much more confident. And just like you mentioned, Vinod Asuti being a kind of a new face to Dharwad, that seems to be a kind of something that can go in favor of Prahlad Joshi as well. But in the end, it is the people who are going to decide on that, and we just have another probably 14 or 15 hours as the election voting will begin, Akshita.
And then excruciating wait right up till June 4th, almost a month, to know what the voters think. And Pramod, I know you relate to that more than most others, considering your state voted in the very first phase of April 19th. So it's been a long, long wait, but we're getting closer and closer to June 4th. We've already touched phase 3 of the elections. But I did speak to Pramod there about what's happening with Prajwal Revanna. So let's put the focus on that particular story and see what's happened in the last 24 hours. There's a lot of political pressure that's been amped up in Karnataka by the Congress and several other parties on the JDS and also to some extent on the BJP. We saw protests breaking out today in Chikmagaluru with Dalit organizations essentially demanding the removal of HD Revanna from his MLA post. And that's because of the fact that he's, remember, been arrested in a kidnapping case. They've maintained it's political conspiracy. But you see on your screens how effigies were being burnt and all of them coming together to demand the ouster of Revanna. As far as the investigation goes, the police conducted on-site investigations at Revanna's residence in Bengaluru. The special investigation team that's been formed by the Siddaramaiah government was overseeing the entire process. Remember that Revanna remains in custody with the court not granting him any relief, placing him under SIT custody right up until May 8th. The SIT has also put out a helpline for anyone who's been victimized allegedly by HD Revanna or Prajwal Revanna to come out and speak their story, to come out and narrate their audio so the investigation can move forward. A lot of these victims obviously are extremely scared considering the strong political connections and how powerful this family is. So this helpline has been launched to kind of help them speak out. Sources reveal that former Prime Minister HD Devagowda has been rather pained seeing the developments that have happened. Remember, his son is currently behind bars. His grandson is yet to come back. He's deeply distressed and has stopped getting into any work right now, not giving any appointments to anyone. Prajwal Revanna remains in Germany right now. Despite the SIT issuing that lookout notice against him, he still hasn't returned. And now there are serious questions about when he'll come back, seeing his father has been arrested.
Total 4 ಸಾಟರ್ಡೆ 2 ಕೇಸಿಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂತೆ ಮಾಜ ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆ ನಡೆಯಿತು. ಒಳನರಸೀಪುರದ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕಸ್ಟಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ SIT ಕಸ್ಟಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಂಥದ್ದು ಒಂದು ಅವರ ವೈಫ್ ಆದಂಥ ಭವಾನಿ ರೇವಣ್ಣ ಅವರು ಆರೋಗ್ಯ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಯಿಂದ ಅವರು ಸಹಕಾರವನ್ನು ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾಜ ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಸಹಕಾರವನ್ನು ನೀಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗದಲೇ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನನಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಂಥವ್ರು ಆಥರೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದರು. ಬಂದ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಹೊರತುಪಡಿಸಿ ನನ್ನ ನೋಟಿಸನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಆ ಕೊಟ್ಟದಕ್ಕೆ ಸಹಕಾರ ನೀಡೋಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ಬಂದ್ರೂ ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಇಟ್ಟು ಅವರು ಒಬ್ಬ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಯ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪಾರ್ಟೆ ಟೈಪಲ್ಲಿ ಅವರು ಮಾಜ ಪ್ರಕ್ರಿಯೆಯನ್ನು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
ನಾವು ಯಾವುದು ಕೂಡ ಕಾನೂನು ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಮಾತ್ರ ಮಾಡೋದು. ನಾವು ಯಾವುದು ಕೂಡ ಬಲಾತ್ಕಾರ ಮಾಡೋದಾಗ್ಲಿ ಹಿಂಸೆ ಕೊಡೋದಾಗ್ಲಿ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ನಂಬಿಕೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು ವಿ ಬಿಲೀವ್ ಇನ್ ರೂಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಲಾ. You believe in rule of law. ಗೊತ್ತಾಯ್ತಾ? ಕಾನೂನು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತದೆ ಅದರ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಮಾಡಿ.
Instead of a simple inquiry or investigation, we have constituted a special investigation team for that. We are not on a day-to-day basis. We are not interfering with their investigation. You know, many things they don't even tell us, and we will not be aware of so many things. Once the investigation is complete, the report comes, then it is left to the government.
It's a I think it's a very late moment, action about the Karnataka state government. I think Siddaramaiah gone to Hassan for the campaign for the Prajwal Revanna. Now also is the member of Siddaramaiah supported party. So after that, in the 5 years of his regime, who supported Prajwal Revanna, the Congress party, Siddaramaiah, if he will win, he will take 100% stringent action against Prajwal Revanna. What happened? He gone to airport. How he gone to airport? 300 kilometers. There is no police. There is no law and order. Though there is no intelligence.
Okay, so that's the kind of politics that you're witnessing right now over Prajwal Revanna. I even ask questions, Loom, on when he'll actually return. But right now, with the countdown to phase 3, the question is whether this will have any impact really on how people vote, particularly in North Karnataka, in those remaining 14 seats in Karnataka. Let's take a look, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, about the other seats also to watch out for in phase 3. The big wigs who are fighting it out, whose fate will be sealed tomorrow. Let's start off with Gujarat, where in Gandhinagar you have Home Minister Amit Shah squaring off against Sonal Patel of the Congress. It's expected to be, in fact, an easy challenge really for Amit Shah to overtake Sonal Patel, but he's vowed that he will win by a record margin of over 10 lakh votes. Will that actually happen? It's a tall ask. There's no doubt about that. The mother of all battles is happening in Baramati of Maharashtra. Again, it's family versus family, something we're seeing a whole lot of here in Andhra Pradesh. In Maharashtra, Supriya Sule is up against Sunetra Pawar, who is the wife of Ajit Pawar. So family again pitted against each other in Baramati. So it'll be interesting to see, because that will have a direct bearing on really the NCP's power struggle as well. In Guna, Jyotiraditya Scindia is contesting this time from a BJP ticket. He lost, remember, in this particular seat, but that time he was in the Congress. Was it the Congress factor? Was it him? We'll know very, very soon. So Jyotiraditya Scindia squaring off against Rao Yadavendra Singh of the Congress. In Rajgarh, you've got Digvijay Singh fighting, and he's claimed that this is his last election. So that's another seat to watch out for. Now, in Bengal, every single phase, you've got some seats of Bengal also polling. This time, the seat to watch out for is Berhampur, because this is the seat where you have Yusuf Pathan, cricketer, making his political entry with a TMC ticket, squaring off against Adhiranjan Chaudhary, who is the incumbent MP of this particular seat. The BJP has fielded Dr. Nirmal Kumar Saha. So these are some of the seats essentially to watch out for in the election. So many political bigwigs essentially in the fray in phase 3. You can trust us here in India Today to get you all the live political action. Remember that Gujarat is polling, so Prime Minister Narendra Modi tomorrow early in the morning will be casting his vote as well. We'll be getting you all those live updates starting 7 a.m. tomorrow. That's it from me. Thanks very much for tuning in. I'm signing off from Andhra Pradesh.